all you amazing healers, empathic people, intuitive coaches, anybody who works with energy. Today's topic is about being centered. And in reality, the term centered is the same as what a psychologist or a counselor will tell you when you are feeling emotionally off, is to bring your energy into your center. And there are energetic ways of centering yourself, but first I want to talk about exactly what it means to be off center and how you get off center, and how that is really important for attracting the right clients to you, and why they won't be attracted if you are not centered. Okay, stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my 6-figure professor salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. Thank you so much for coming back. So today's topic is about being centered. And what that means is that everything that you relate to in the outside world starts from inside you. If you are reacting to your environment, I just recently talked about this. If you are reacting to your environment, in other words, from outside stimuli, you are no longer centered. So the way it looks energetically is that the being that's you, right? The way it looks, the being that's you starts pulling up out of your body. And as you pull up out of your body, you start, and I can even feel as I'm pulling myself up out of my body, how my legs and lower body are feeling abandoned. So I'm going to put myself back in, right? But as people pull themselves out of their body, this is what happens. It's kind of like the dog in Up that keeps saying squirrel and getting distracted, right? So what happens is that there's a distraction over to the left and a distraction over to the right, and you start paying attention to it without thinking about what's going on inside you, right? Oh, I need to take care of this. I need to take care of that, without paying attention to your own weariness or your own need for rest or your own need for recreation, your own need to laugh, right? So you stop taking care of you. And self-care is a really important topic. So getting off center, also as you pull yourself up out of your body, and I'm going to push myself back down, but as you pull yourself up out of your body, what happens is that your feet stop being energized, then your knees, and then your hips and your lower back. And that's where a lot of problems will start to come in. And if you feel pain anywhere, the more your body, your spirit or your energy will recede out of that part of the body, because it doesn't like feeling in pain, right? When your body is broken, the spirit wants to leave. And a lot of times you have to talk it back in. When I dealt with people that were in a coma, and one of them had a very broken body, and what I heard from him is, this body's trashed, I'm out of here, and he was floating up out of his body ready to leave. And I pulled him back in, saying that if he didn't solve this life's problems, he would just have to relive it in the next. And all I heard was, oh no, I better go back in. Oh, it's gonna hurt, right? staying centered is a way to help your body stay healthier. The other advantage to being centered, so I'm just going to check my notes here to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, right? The other advantage to staying centered is that people relate to you a lot more easily because you're not distracted. You're not hiding yourself. So there are other things that happen when you're out of sorts. Have you ever gotten up in the middle of the night and felt really dizzy, right? Like you couldn't stand, or you got up way too early and, your body just didn't feel right? That's when at night, your spirit will leave your body sometimes, and it's not all the way back in. And that dizziness that you feel, that feeling of off balance, means that you're not quite centered. And when you are centered, your mind will be sharp, awake, your creativity will go up, people will be attracted to you because of those things, and because you feel like a very crisp, right? You're very crisp and clear, and people want clarity. They want to know who you are, right? And if you are really feeling upbeat and happy because you are centered, and being centered is a higher vibe place to be, right? When you're feeling that way, people are a lot more attracted to you. And when I go to different conferences and meetings and show up in person, it doesn't really matter how I look. What matters is my energy, how I approach people, right? So when I approach people, when I'm centered, when I approach people, they just automatically come to me easily, and I make appointments with them. I am able to basically bring people into a conference. Like I held a couple of my own meetings and bring people into a conference, and when they're there, they feel like something is magical because I am centered, and I make sure that I center myself every morning. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks to get you centered in under 2 minutes. And your productivity and your clarity will climb dramatically, right? So these are the reasons for being centered. And of course, when you feel like all's right with the world. I'll give you an example. I was at a networking meeting, and it was started at 7, it was ending at about 10. And those of us that stayed late, normally it ends at 9, and a few of us stayed late. And one woman walked up to me and she says, Anastasia, I don't know how I'm going to drive home. I am like really out of sorts, and I feel like I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel. And I pulled her into her body, and she goes, I don't know what you just did, but I'm ready to drive home. So that's, it can happen in an instant. So in an instant, really quickly. So one way to do it is just imagine you're pulling, taking a deep breath, you're pulling whatever's up out, because we pull ourselves out. And just as an aside, I have observed people in their dying state, and it's like a tide. They go up out of their body, and then they come back in. And so it's like, I'm trying this out. Okay, I'm not ready yet. I'm trying this out. Okay, I'm not ready yet. So it's like a tide. They come up and down. And when I know that someone is ready to go, I do not pull them back in and lock their spirit down. In the case of the coma patient that I was just mentioning, I pulled his spirit in and locked him down because he was too young to go. He was in his early 50s, right? So, and he had a son that he needed to stay around for. So here are some tips to help you get centered. Of course, taking a deep breath. And when you take a deep breath, hold yourself straight up because the energy flows a lot better. And you can even imagine you're pulling your energy from above, right? As I just was starting to tell you, imagine pulling yourself from above, you're pulling yourself down into your body, and you feel the energy go all the way down to your fingers and toes. Whenever I do that, my feet warm up immediately because I tend to be pulled up. Most people are pulled up to their waist or above. People that do energy practices stay down and they're down to their knees and past. So I hardly ever experience any kind of back pain or knee pain or hip pain ever, right? So this will really help you stay physically fitter. So just taking a deep breath and imagining your air is going all the way into your fingers and toes. You're pulling the air from above down into your body, right? That's one way of doing it quickly. There are several other tricks of doing it quickly. Like one of them is called Super Brain Yoga. You can look this up. It's a thing. It's part of pranic healing. You take your left thumb and put it on your right earlobe, and your right thumb and put it on your left earlobe. And by crossing, you're balancing the two halves of the brain. So by doing this, you're helping balance left to right, right? And what you want to also do is balance up and down. And you want to balance front and back. And by doing a dip or a knee bend, you're pushing your knees outward, right? So you're balancing front to back. And you're also going down, so you balance up and down. I'm probably out of the picture now. I'm not looking at myself, right? And you do that 7 times. And while you're doing it, you put your tongue at the roof of your mouth to cover up that little energetic opening that's right behind your front teeth, right? So let's do it together. And you take a breath in as you go down and a breath out as you go up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that should have you feeling way better, and your feet and your fingers should be warming up if they're cool. And that is a great way to balance. There are other ways to center, like you can, if you have control of energy, you can just imagine by pushing yourself down into your body. And as you do whatever hand signals that you do, this is for me, signaling the energy to go where I tell it, right? So I hope that was helpful. I talked about centering, what centering is, and how you get off center, and what the effects of being off center are, and how to get centered really quickly, and why you would want to. It's really important for attracting other people to you, and they're attracted because they want, I'll have what she's having, right? They want what you have, and they want that, right? And it's the same thing. People that are centered look more youthful, they look more relaxed, they're happier, they're more productive, and they're more energetic. So let's try some of those centering techniques. Until next time, and thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.